Our guests tonight are the Robidoux Brothers, Bryson and Brent, who, between the two of them, won 4 races this weekend at 3 different tracks. And we're gonna have them on. So they're here tonight. Bryson and Brent, you guys there?
Yeah. Yes. Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. Hey, let's just jump right into things. You guys had a crazy weekend. You guys both won Friday night, and then Bryson, you went on to win a White Mountain and at Hudson on Sunday. Brent, you had a birthday Monday, turned 16, and I believe you got your driver's permit. So tell us about the whole week.
Correct. Friday was really great, getting the win, getting the 3rd win of the year in the rest of the season. That's really great. And then seeing my brother win as well, that was also great. And then going on Saturday and Sunday, having him win a White Mountain in Hudson was pretty good for both of us. I'm really proud of him, and that all of us on his team were able to do. And then my birthday on Monday, getting a permit, that's also pretty good feeling, and being able to drive on the road.
So, how much work did you guys put in the shop last week just to get all those 4 races in?
On Friday with my car and my crew Scott, we made some changes and just getting the car dialed back into where it always is. And on my car, me, my dad, and everybody at the shop, we worked till like 8:30 on Thursday night trying to figure out the bugs that we had in our Seacon car, but it all paid off in the end because we ended up winning it.
Well, hi, guys. This is Jim. I just want to congratulate you on your awesome weekend, that's for sure. Maybe a quick question here. Maybe you can enlighten maybe about your background in racing. I mean, how'd you guys get started? What age were you? I mean, you guys are still young, and like you said, just getting your driver's license. Was your dad in racing? Friend? I mean, when did you guys all start?
I grew. My parents met at the racetrack, and I grew up watching my dad racing the pure stock. Eventually, moved up into the truck. And then I eventually told him I wanted to start racing. So then he bought a Bando. That's where I cut my teeth, learned for a few years just how to learn how to drive a race car. And then eventually, when I was starting to get better, Bryson wanted to get in. So at the time, both of us were in Bandos. And then he was his first year, he was in the Bandit. I was in the Outlaws. And then the next year, which was last year, we were both in the Outlaws. Which we had some really great times racing together all over the Northeast. And just, and then this year I decided to move to pure stock, which was a great move, and I have a lot of fun in that car.
So I got a question for Mom and Dad if they're there.
Yeah. Got it there.
Mom, how nervous are you, Gretchen? How nervous are you watching the boys race? Because I watch them on Friday night, and like the crowd was screaming when they both did this amazing inside pass to take the leads. It's nerve-wracking for us.
Oh, I get very nervous, especially because their races are back-to-back. I don't really get much of a break in between. Sometimes I get jello legs and I have to try to sit down and catch my breath, but my hands end up hurting from clapping. I'm yelling. I lose my voice. And I'm like, I know they can't hear me in the car, but I still yell anyways. And I know everybody looks at me like I'm a crazy person, but I do enjoy watching them race.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, the biggest thing I love about racing, especially the grassroots, and that's why I love getting these backstories, is, the family all gets together. So what is a typical race week like for the family? Mom and dad and the boys. How many nights out in the week in the garage? What does Mom do during the week? Are you doing some of the arrangements for, obviously you guys are traveling around the Northeast. What is your role besides obviously being the biggest cheerleader and things like that?
So I typically don't go to the shop during the week. I go home. I make sure they have dinner ready when they get home from the shop. I prepare the cooler. I make sure everything is ready to go. And then John and the boys and the rest of the crew are typically down there. Most of the time they'll start on Saturday, and then Monday through Thursday they're down there. Sometimes they don't get home till 8:30 at night every single night, trying to get the cars ready to go and make sure they have the best piece when they get on the track.
Another question is, I guess, also during the school year, so who has to be the one to kind of maybe push them to do their schoolwork first? I mean, who's the bad guy when that comes up?
So,
or the boys go to bed?
I'll say, that's with school is number one. They already know, and it's drilled into their head that if school's work's not done or good grades, race cars will stay right in the trailer, which in turn gives them a drive to do everything. And like I said, they're good, what's good in school and all that fun stuff.
Well, that's fantastic because it teaches them discipline, right? I would imagine if hey, I'm going to pay attention. I want to pass because mom and dad will take the race car away. And it's kind of because as a kid when I was doing baseball as a kid, if I didn't do well in school, there was no Red Sox games I could watch or anything like that when I was a kid. So having good parents is truly one of those great blessings in life. And I have great parents, and it sounds like your boys have great parents also. So
the one thing I will say is Bryson had a goal to start the year to be in the top 10 national points in the INX Bandoleros. Sure. I believe he's like sixth. That is no easy accomplishment, and he's the one guy from Massachusetts in the top 10. These guys are all North Carolina people. So Bryson, how do you keep up in there? Because you gotta follow through with this goal and get the top 10 for sure. What do you got to do?
I think we got to stay consistent, keep pumping in what we were doing, laying it to the shop, then helping and everything, getting the cars prepared, get mentally prepared, getting everything right, and just be consistent.
So I'll jump in here for a minute. So what stinks right now about national points is we are sixth, I believe, sixth or seventh. I'm not exact. So the first playoff race at Seekonk is INEX's national race in Iowa. Now, unfortunately, what they've done in the past few years, because there's been some other kids that have got into the top 10. If you don't go, let me start from the beginning. They max you out at a certain number of points. Now, you don't get the full max of points, but what happens is you go to the national race, and where you finish is what you get in the national points. So we could be seventh if we advance more. That's great. We'll be there. But because we do not do that national race, most likely we'll get bumped down to like 11th, and that's where we finish. But just knowing that we're in that mix and is great. But we also he wants to capture the Seekonk Bandolero Championship.
We understand that, and we're all rooting for you. Let's talk to Brent for a minute, because Brent moved up from the Bandoleros into a pure stock, which is a full size car.
Sure, right.
And he's racing against guys who've raced in this series for years now, and it's really competitive. He's beating those guys.
Yeah.
And he's not doing it from starting on the front row. He won last week starting, I think, 9th, and he was up in the front quick. So, Brent, did driving the Bandolero help prepare you for this? I mean, it's a big jump. The car's heavier. How did you adjust so quickly?
I mean, the jump from the Bando to a full-size car is a little different, but just having so many laps around Seekonk, you kind of made me a little bit comfortable, and just having a lot of practice laps help me get adjusted in the different way to drive and figure out what the car is doing.
One of the things I'm amazed about today is, years ago when I started following racing in the 80s, you didn't really start till you were 17 or 18 years old, like in a street stock.
I couldn't start until I was 21 in an EMA midget. It was 21.
These kids today, they're starting at 5, 6 years old. And, by the time they're 16, they've got experience like the 25-year-olds had years ago. But one of the things, what is the plan? I mean, do you guys obviously want to move up at Seekonk? It sounds. Do you want to go to a late model, a pro stock eventually, or do you want to do open wheel? Do you want to do a tour car? I mean, what are some of your hopes and goals?
I mean, I would dream to do a late model. Just that it's just not really fit right now, and just
right.
It's just I would love to move up one day, but just I like where I am right now.
Exactly. I was just curious as you get down the road, like late models, and sounds like one of the nice things about the late models is under the NASCAR rules, you can pretty much race throughout the Northeast, and but like you said, you're getting that experience, you're getting that feel, that desire to win, the dedication that it takes in the shop during the week, and of course those school grades, because you want to be able to present yourself well, and to attract sponsors and things like that.
So, speaking of sponsors, who do you guys have to thank to get you guys together every week on the track?
I I just want to thank off my mom, my dad, my uncle, my uncle Billy for helping us when we need it. My crew chief Scott for helping us with the car. Doug at Salisbury, Finish Excavating, Terry Brett Quarter Horses, DC35, Painters and Allied Trades, Helga's House of Power Equipment, Star Apartments, and everybody works at the shop. Just everybody puts in the time and effort to help me and my brother go fast as we can.
All right, boys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Before we get going, though, I want everybody to go to Seekonk on Friday night, watch the number 25 Pure Stock, which is Brent Robidoux, and watch the number 38 Outlaw Bandolero, which is Bryson Robidoux.
Yep.
These boys are people to watch, and we really appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
We appreciate your mom and dad. Good luck Friday night. I'll be there watching, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for having us.